Hello again. Oh dear, I'm having a morning. I made this card this morning to show another technique for using gilding flakes. And between making the card and getting the camera and stuff ready to do the video, I lost the dies that I made this with. I looked everywhere, looked in all the boxes that they shouldn't have been in, all the rest of it, only to discover, after a huge search, that I'd actually put them on my carousel. I've got one little magnetic sheet on the side of my carousel. I put them there ready to use so I would know where they were. They say short-term memory goes quickly. Oh dear. Pressing on. Anyway, here's the card. Again, another gilding flake technique. I thought, why people have got gilding flakes out of their drawers or cupboards or wherever they've been hiding, we might as well find a few more techniques to use. So today, this one was done using double-sided tape. Not sheets, double-sided tape. But if you use double-sided tape, just make sure that it's not the sort that's got a little gap either side. We need the adhesive to go from side to side if you want to make sure that you can abut lines exactly next to each other. So I've got two different widths. I don't know whether these are metric or imperial, really. That's probably about 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch, perhaps. I don't know, whatever. But a couple of widths. So the thing to do, first of all, is to, you could go straight onto the front of a card if you wanted to, but I chose to do a panel. And you can either go cut down your panel. I use this Sizzix framelit die to cut down my panel. So I've got a little border which just focuses the eye. So you can either cut your panel first and then do the gilding, or do the gilding and then cut the panel. I chose to do the latter because I do like the finish that you get with a die cut. So I'm going to do it onto the sheet first and cut it down afterwards. Okay, first thing, on my glass mat, I am going to tack down the piece of card with a little bit of low tack tape. You may see I'm wearing my watch. It was suggested perhaps that I would take my watch off and put it on my desk while I'm doing a video. I thought, well, I didn't actually think my watch would work if I wasn't wearing it. Anyway, I put it up, started to make a video, all well and good, and I could see what was going on, and then suddenly it went black. The video was continuing, but I couldn't see what was going on. So I'm going to try again with it on my wrist and just hope that I don't zoom in or zoom out without knowing, and that you can actually see what I'm doing for most of the time. Anyway, here we go. Going to start with the wider of the two, and I'm going to take it beyond, and I'm going to match it with, again, with one of the lines on my mat. There we are. Now I'm using scissors that I only use for sticky stuff so that others don't get messed up. Now I'm going to gild this before I move on to the next one. Rub it down with my brayer. Just take off the backing. Now this looks pretty good as far as coverage is concerned. I think when you're using a double-sided sheet, there's more chance that you might have a little gap where the adhesive hasn't gone onto the card. So I'm going to start with gold. And of course, because I've got this stuck down to my mat, I can't use a thing underneath, a piece of paper to put it back in. So I'm going to be fairly frugal with the addition of the embossing flakes, because, as I've said before, too often I've put far too many on, and when you start to tamp them down and burnish them, they just go to dust, and it's a waste. It's a real waste, because you can easily move these around. Now, you can either use a scoochie or a brush. If you use your scoochie, you don't need to get them attached somewhere. And then just gently move them around so that all the bits of the tape are covered. There. Look, there's hardly any residue. Hardly any. A little bit down the bottom here, which I'll just scoot away in a minute. But isn't that lovely? Just look. Beautiful. Right, let's get rid of that little bit. Hardly worth saving. Okay. That's the first one. Now I'm going to use a slightly narrower piece this time. Where's the end? Can't see it. There it is. There it is. And putting this absolutely next to the first one. Snip. And make sure it's pressed hard. Excellent. Take it off. There we go. Check to make sure there are no gaps. There aren't any gaps. And we will use this one next. Actually, it's the same orders that I did it before. That wasn't... I was kind of being, I thought, a bit random. I know I wanted to have gold on the left in the predominant position with the wider one because I wanted to have a gold embellishment, a gold butterfly. So that might be enough, actually. Let's just see. Oh, it's gorgeous. Look at it. Whoa. Love it. Love it. Plenty. Look at that. Plenty. I always used to put far, far, far too much on. There we go. Beautiful. Look at it. Whoa. Right. And the last one, I'm going to do three lines, as I did in this one here. 3 lines of tape embossed in 3 different colours of embossing flakes. Oh, don't take that off yet. Put your other line down, girl. Get yourself organised. Right, here we go. Last line. Right. Right up against it. There we go. Okay. Make sure it's stuck down all the way. And remove. There we go. And now for the silvery one. These variegated ones are lovely. People have been saying, where can you get this from? Well, I think the particular company that produced these ones that I'm using, they don't sell abroad, I don't think. But I am sure that whatever part of the world you're in, there will be somebody who sells variegated embossing flakes. So all you have to do is Google and put a few keywords in, and if those are not bringing up what you want, change the words that you put in. I don't know if there's a dictionary of what the best way to do searches for is on the internet, but anyway, there we go. Right. Bit more residue on that. I wasn't thinking what I was doing. I put a bit too much on, but we'll just get rid of it. There we go. Yeah, no problem. Now remove this tape. Gently get this up off the... Oops, daisy. Doesn't matter too much about that because I'm going to cut the panel from this. There we go. this up with some alcohol, you know, surgical spirit, or my spray away, but it'll just come off using an old, what is this? Hampshire Cricket membership card. There we go. Right, now the next thing for me to do is to die cut this little bit off. Here's my die, and again, the thing with this one is to get it absolutely square. Having taken the trouble to put it on my mat in line with all those lines here, the grid, and the same with the tape, the last thing I want to do is to make a mess when I'm cutting the panel. So that looks square to me. Not quite, actually. Let's have another little. That's better. There we go. Excellent. There. Right. So there's my panel. Isn't it lovely? Oh, super. Now, butterfly. And here they are waiting for me. I like to use these ones that have a filigree top and a plain back. You can either use them with the fancy bit of whatever you're doing on the back or on the front. It depends what it is. For this, I chose to have a plain back and a filigree gold. So I'm just going to cut a plain one from here. Let's take a moment. There it is. There's my plain one. Now, for the other one, I've got, again, a little piece of card with a bit of double-sided sheet on the back. And I'm going to gild it and then die cut it. When I've started doing these again this time, I don't know whether it's getting old or what, but I die cut it from there and then started to gild afterwards. And I thought, you silly thing, because it's much more fiddly to try and gild a cutout than it is to gild a great big piece. I know you waste a little bit of the flakes, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, just checking, and it doesn't look to me like there are any gaps where the adhesive is missing. So I'm going to use gold again. Put a few gold flakes on. Right, let's try with the brush this time, just so that you can see the difference. Both methods do spread the gilding flakes around, but I think the Scoochie has got a bit more drag for cover, you know, dragging it round to the places that haven't got any on. Hope you can see. I'm coming a little bit closer, I think, just so you can see. Is that better? I love the design that you get when you, let's just give this a burnish with this, isn't it? Looks like veining, doesn't it? It's beautiful by itself. It gives such a super finish. I mean, that is just as a background without doing anything to it is fabulous, isn't it? Let me put the lid back on this. And we'll die cut this. And the card is kind of nearly done. So let's put him on here and die cut that. I don't need to go into all the bits and bobs about assembling this card because you can see kind of what I've done, but let me just clear the mess. Can't cope in it talking to you with all this there. Let's just get rid of this little lot. There we go. There. Now, to join these together, I want the wings to be up. So I've got a double bit of a glue dot here, but the dot is actually bigger than that bit there. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to just roll my thumb over it to take it off. And there it is on my thumb, just there. And it's in like a little long, thin roll. So then I can put that under that skinny bit there. But can you see? And then I can attach that to here. Do the same thing with the glue dot for underneath here. Attach it there. And all I did in the middle was to pop a little flat back pearl. The sentiment I used is from memory box as well, the butterflies memory box, and this is just says thank you, and it's a shadow die, the actual sentiment itself and its shadow. And I tried both. I tried the look of this on a white backing and the sentiment by itself, and personally I thought that it looked better, finer, didn't take so much away from the butterfly without the shadow. So there it is. My card is almost complete. The panel I popped up onto some foam tape just to give it a bit of relief. Butterfly on there. Another piece. Would that fit on there? Not quite, but there's a little bit there I could use for something, which I will save. So I've got another bit here. Peel, gild, burnish, die cut, and stick it on. I stuck that one on with my Zig pen. So there's another way. So, you know, get those gilding flakes out again, enjoy them, and just have a go. Thanks so much for watching.